Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Howard Yu. Today I'm doing an analysis of the 2025 prelim paper from ACS School Junior. I'm actually on screen, as you can see, can wave to you. But later I will switch off the video because there's only one USB port that can be connected to a better mic. So in terms of producing a better quality video, I prefer to use the mic without the video image so I can give you a proper analysis of this 2025 ACS Junior paper. I hope that you can understand my objective. So I would just pause this recording and switch to a more sensitive mic.
Okay, let us analyze these questions. As you can see here, this is a table of 5 child and the heart rate according to different types of music. So state the aim of this experiment. So you can see this student, he answered wrongly. He said that to find if the different types of music affect the heart rate of person. So actually it's not the different type of music, because different type of music can be like Indian music, Chinese music, or Asian music. But this one is the pace of the music. So it's actually the more specific answer is to find out how the pace of music affect the heart rate of the people or the child. Okay, as you see, the other students, he answered correctly. As I switch to the other student, you can see this student actually, he answered quite well, although the handwriting a bit faint due to the scanning, to find out how the pace of music affects a child's heart rate. So you get full marks. Okay, part B, state the relationship between the pace of music that children listen to and their heart rate. So this student also get a full 1 mark. As the pace of music that children listen increases, as you can see here, there's slow pace is considered slow. No music is actually a control setup, and fast pace. So you can see, right? No music, this column actually registers the control setup, as you can see here. I try to draw the line. Okay, this part is without music. So you can see slow pace music, right? All this number over here on the left-hand side of this column are lower than the middle one. So this is under slow pace. And under fast pace, I switch to red color. This one is all the values are higher among the 5 children A to E. So let's see here. Part B, this student get it correct. The slower the pace of the music, the lower the heart rate per minute. And the faster the pace of the music, the higher the heart rate per minute. Okay, see, we like to look at part C. Suggest one improvement to this experiment to obtain more accurate result. Okay, this one actually many students did not answer well because they are not specific. So I mentioned that this child, he did not answer specifically. Because to be specific, you must say to repeat the experiment for each child for at least 2 more times. Or you can say repeat the experiment 3 times for each child and take the average reading. So this student actually also get half mark deducted because he say repeat the experiment 3 times and record the average result. Okay, he did not mention repeat the experiment 3 times for each child. So it's important to be more specific in answering this question. And this is actually the first question of the open-ended in this year's ACSJ's prelim paper. Let's continue. So see the next question. Okay, this is the pond community. Okay, remember a community is made up of 2 or more populations. So how many populations are shown? So here is 4, and the other student, he also get it correct. And this is the amount of oxygen and the time over days. So here is ask you to state, explain why the amount of oxygen in the pond decreased over time. Okay, this student actually lost half a mark. Okay, because this graph I mentioned here is testing students' observation skill as there are other animals using oxygen for respiration. So this oxygen is being decreased over time because of something happened. The muddy water from nearby farm was washed into the pond. Okay, this will decrease the light intensity which the aquatic plants or the submerged aquatic plant H receive. So this will reduce the rate of photosynthesis. At the same time, there are organisms like the frog and the fish and the stream, they are animals. So they will take in oxygen and hence resulting in less oxygen over the days. So the proper answer, as mentioned here, this is a clear answer here. Okay, why this amount of oxygen decrease? Because the pond become muddy, right? So the aquatic plants will trap less light, resulting in lower rate of photosynthesis and also other organisms using the oxygen for respiration. Okay, which organism is most likely to survive is actually the frog because the frog is an amphibian. Okay, notice this child have a minor mistake here, but this is not a key word in this question. As long as a child understands that these animals can breathe on land and in water. So it's not being penalized for this mistake over here. And you can see here, frog as it is ambitious, amphibious. Okay, this is in adjective is correct and can travel on the land for more oxygen. So as long as the child is able to convey the meaning that because the oxygen in water is low, this animal can exit the water to the next medium in the air to breathe. So the marks will be awarded. Okay, next, this is a question on adaptations. So which monkey survive better in each habitat? So you must understand the different colors. So the one monkey A has light brown and thick fur, the other red color fur and long tail. So monkey A, as his light brown fur, can camouflage with the yellow color grass to hide from predator. So he will be given 1 mark. Also, the rainforest long tail given 1 mark, no problem for this. Okay, this one is a tricky question, but because this student is not careful, so I use the word negligence, have learned but failed to apply the concept of air being a poor conductor of heat. So this is the P4 concept because they trap air. That's why the fur trap air, which is a poor conductor of heat. And this is the main reason. So solution, copy this concept 7 times and try to apply it carefully in the PSL exam. So you see this, the next child, he get it all correct. So I put a special remark here. It's important to have good handwriting because as you know, since a few years ago, all the PSLE science paper, I'm not sure whether mathematics do, but I believe so, are being digitally scanned and digitally marked. So if an examiner, I look at such a neat handwriting, I will have a tendency to give the marks more willingly because I can see the answer clearly. I do not need to squint my eye to see what the students write. So that's why I write to reinforced. It is important to have good handwriting. So you can see this handwriting is so neat. Thick fur can trap air from the surrounding, and air is a poor conductor of heat. So this is a key concept. So both monkeys have thick fur, so the monkeys would lose heat to the surrounding at a lower rate. Because this one talk about both monkeys, okay? Why having thick fur is advantageous for both monkeys. Okay, let's continue to the next question. Okay, this one is actually a P5 topic on seed dispersal and pollinations. So this one, no problem. Okay, this one actually this student answered which flower will develop into fruit. He actually chose the right flower, but no marks is given. So as you know, for such question, explain why or give reason why, even the child or the candidate stated the correct answer, but the explanation is wrong, no marks will be given. So let's see the other child. Okay, so technically, I put here 1 mark from Mr. Yu because I believe that the marker may have misunderstood the student. Because personally, I believe that the student's answer seems more superior than the school standardization answer. Why? Let's explore why. Look at this carefully. This candidate indicated flower D. Flower D, as you know, it has stigma, which receive the pollen, right? So they have stigma. So male reproductive cells, which are the anthers, from flower E will be transferred to flower D, where fertilization will occur in the ovary below the stigma, and the ovary will develop into a fruit. So personally, I would award this child with 1 mark. So I advise this child to seek clarification from the science HOD. Okay, because this answer given by the school, it says that flower D, it has all female parts for fertilization to take place. But this student actually he answered more specifically by stating this thing, this his reasoning, and I think he should be awarded 1 mark. 1 mark. And B part two. James noticed bees visiting both flowers. State how. State, huh? So no reason needed. How the bees and flower benefit from each other. So this answer is given here to reduce the time taken. I will just show you the answer. Okay, this student gets 0 mark. Okay, because why? Not specific. Must state clearly. Wasted 2 easy marks. So I need to strangle this child because he wasted 2 marks. Because you should not waste mark, especially those questions they ask you to state. Okay, state. Okay, so the shortest answer is the bees can get food and the flowers can get pollinated by the bees. So this is the shortest possible in terms of stating. So let's continue to see the next question. Okay, so I put a remark here for PSLE science. It's very possible to improve from AL4 to AL2 under my good coaching, even if you receive your prelim results this week. So this child answered correctly, and this is the model answer you can screenshot to get the answer correct. But he get a 1 mark, half mark reduction here. I explain why later. Let's see the other child. Okay, notice I put this is my special remark here, distractor. So for parents, if you want me to analyze your child's prelim paper, you can scan over and let me see what are the areas for improvement. Even child not in one academy, I can set off time to analyze the child's at a reasonable fee. So this part they put plastic is actually a distractor because this student, you can see he's being distracted by this plastic here from my scientific reasoning because he put plastic is a poor conductor of heat. Thus, that's why Mingz's left hand felt warm while his right hand felt cold. So actually, it's not logical, right? Because if it is a poor conductor of heat, they shouldn't be and to be this reason. So the correct reason is a heat concept, like heat flows from a region of higher temperature to a region of lower temperature. Okay, why? Because it's a left hand, right? Because holding the hot coffee, correct? Yeah. So the hot coffee has a higher temperature than its body temperature. So the heat from the hot coffee is being conducted to Mingz's left hand. Wow, the right hand is holding the iced coffee. So iced coffee is having a lower temperature than the body's temperature, right? So the heat from the body is being transferred to the iced coffee. Hence, his right hand loses heat and feel colder. So that should be the reason for this question, as stated here. Okay, part B. Okay, light concept, you get it correct. Part C. Part C, this question is considered experimental design. It can be tested from P4 to P6. So this question also tests the process skill of formulation and inference, making inference, because it says suggest a way. Suggest a way means to infer a way he can test his idea. What idea? Okay, this idea is that the paper cups containing coffee did not leak. He thinks, okay, this is the thing, he thinks the plastic coating inside the cup prevents leakage. So how do you infer? Okay, so you should say very easy because the testing is this plastic coating, right? So once you have a plastic coating and the other without, so to remove the plastic coating from one of the paper cups, pour in the coffee, observe if the cup leaks. So this part is very important. Observe if the cup leaks. So you can see the other student, he have copied the answer here, but he being penalized for half mark, minus half, because he did not say the conclusion. Observe if the cup leaks. So this is a proper reasoning for this question. Let's continue the next question. Okay, this question actually, I think is not well set. Why? I got to ask a marker or the setter why. Because if you can see carefully, no instructions given to add batteries and switches. Okay, so I think this question need to be fair to the student. Perhaps they need to go through another round of standardization to be fair to the students. And for this question, I will not discuss now. You just look at the possible answers for this student. And personally, I believe that the teacher marked wrongly. This child should be given 1 mark here. Why? Because if you can see, this student from another class was awarded 1 mark for the same, similar answer. When one bulb blows, the other will still be able to light up. He's given 1 mark. Whereas this child, if one of the bulb fuses, the other would still be working. Isn't it the same reasoning? One is correct and one is wrong. So please review this question. And personally, I believe that this question actually is quite well set, quite a higher order thinking skill questions, because number one, no instructions were given to add the batteries, and also no instruction given to draw the switches. So it's a very high order thinking skill, which I would not like to discuss now. I would like you to, number one, the markers reevaluate whether to reset these questions. And number two, whether there are more than one possible answer, which I believe there are more than one possible answer. So I'll leave it to you to follow my YouTube channel, like and subscribe, and then I'll discuss next week. Okay, let's continue. Okay, this question is actually a P4 science question, testing the heat concept, and the student get it correct. So, and then personally, I just want to give a comment. Try to avoid using the place or the location. So instead of saying the location, the other better answer would be the volume of water in each glass would be the same. Okay, you look at the other student, what he wrote. Okay, the volume of water in each class and the location. So same thing I say, honestly, avoid putting location as it is not specific. Okay, you can talk about, make sure the surrounding temperature of the experiment is the same. Okay, so this is a question. Let's continue the next one. Okay, this question many students get fooled because they are stumbled. They do not know how to read this graph. So actually, technically, it's very simple. It's a mathematical questions. 30 minus 10. Because they ask you, state the increase in temperature of the water in glass A when it reach room temperature. So what's the room temperature? The room temperature, if you see here, is actually, according to the graph, is 30 degrees. It has stabilized. Okay, 30 degrees. And the initial temperature was 10 degrees because the cold water, right? So both started at 10. So 30 minus 10 is 20 degrees Celsius. Remember to put the units. If without the degree Celsius, half mark will be deducted. Okay, next, continue this one. Okay, there's a minor mistake here, which the marker did not spot, and being gracious to the child. Okay, because avoid writing the word hotter temperature. It's actually higher temperature, okay? Because you say the temperature outside the house was hotter. It's not hotter, it's higher. Okay, so this is a good question which actually appears in my science book, which I have given parents the option to purchase online. Similar question on this type of a double layered, but is in terms of the window plane, which I will showcase to you shortly. And after I explain this child's answering, okay, this child get stumbled because he put the temperature of the water in the glass stop increasing because they just asked to state the increase. So understanding question is important because you see just a short answer, 20 degrees Celsius, you will get yourself 1 mark. By writing this long answer, get 0 mark because the student did not read the question carefully. Okay, this one he answered correctly. He's given 1 mark out of 2 marks. Why? Because the conclusion was not stated. Okay. because they ask you why is it more suitable. So whenever you give reason for your answer, right? Open-ended questions for 2 marks especially, remember to give the conclusion. Okay. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is the air inside the house would gain heat slower. That's the conclusion. So remember. Okay, let me pause for a while and let me retrieve the book which I like to recommend you to consider purchasing for your child's preparation for P5 as well as PSLE science. As I was mentioning the questions that I have discussed earlier, the two-layer glass panel, this question over here, where the concept of heat flow is being tested. So this is a very good questions, the double-layered window. And for parents who are interested, you can actually purchase this book from me. It was copyrighted. I published this book in 2020, and it has helped many students to answer many questions regarding heat, because heat is a major topic that will be tested in the PSLE science as well as P5 end of year examinations. So these are all heat and electricity questions being integrated over here. And I've integrated innovative science training even in the area of forces. For example, parachute. It can scan the QR code, which will lead to my YouTube channel to explain to students how to approach the questions accurately. And this is a showcase of my past experience as a PSLE science marker. And this question actually appears in the actual PSLE science questions, if you are familiar with it. And also important skills in mastering science and also life application questions. So these are example. Okay, let's continue our uh, data analysis of the questions that are being tested in this year's prelim. So as I mentioned, this student, he did not state his conclusion that the air in the house would gain heat slower. Let's continue the next question. And this question, I think most students can answer quite well, is energy conversion. So no problem with this. Okay, this one state one advantage of the solar panel. So this one, he gets 0 mark because it said it decreases the amount of greenhouse gases in the environment. Okay, so actually the model answer is it uses energy from the sun, which is renewable source of energy. Okay, the other possible answer in, I believe maybe instead of writing this, right, it should say that the solar panel does not produce greenhouse gases. So that may be a possible answer if the school accept it. But the model answer given by the school is, as mentioned here, solar panel use a renewable source of energy. Okay, so this student did quite well. Okay, this is a very interesting question, and I like this picture very much. You need to understand how this thing works. Because they say John has this setup, right? And you notice here this 10 gram. So this the right hand side is heavier than the left hand side. So gravitational force will tend to pull the duct B downwards. Okay, duct B downwards. So say when John closes the switch, both ducts move up and down continuously. Explain why. So whenever you see such question, right, there is this magnetization and demagnetization of the electromagnet over here. So let's see the other student. His answer actually is very straightforward. He get 1/2 marks. Okay, so I put a comment here. Why deduct 1/2 mark over here? So let's continue to see these students over here. Okay, so this part, he get 0 mark because answered wrongly. Okay, because he misunderstood the question. He said when the switch is closed, duct B would be tilting downwards. Okay, actually when the switch is closed, it even demagnetize, right? So magnetize, right? You actually will pull duct A downwards and duct B will move upwards. Because when it's closed, so this will be magnetized. So it will attract the iron ring downwards. So this one he get wrong because wrong concept. Okay, let me pause a while. So actually, this student, he get it wrong. Let's see the other student, he get it correct. Okay, but 1/2 mark is deducted from this child. Okay, when John closes the switch, the electric current would flow through the circuit and the coil of wire, magnetizing the iron bar into an electromagnet, which will attract the 5-gram iron ring on duct A downwards. Okay, the seesaw would lift, correct, would lift B up away. Okay, from the metal contact point, which will create an open circuit. So when B goes out, right, this will form an open circuit at the metal contact here, which is correct. So when this one being attracted, the 10-gram iron ring will move outward, and this will form an open circuit, which is mentioned correctly. Very good answering. Create an open circuit that would stop the flow of electric current, demagnetizing the iron bar. Duct B would drop back. Okay, duct B would drop back. Yeah, because if demagnetized, it will drop back, correct? Because no more attracting. So duct B will drop back because it's heavier, greater mass, okay? Creating the closed circuit, which will allow the electric current to repeat again. So I'm wondering why the student get half mark deducted. So please check with the marker once again. I think he should be given the full marks. Okay, what could John do to make the circuit move up and down more quickly? So he could, number one, add more coils of wire around the iron bar, around here. And this student, actually, he also get it correct. Yeah. Okay, part C. Okay, part C, actually, I believe there's more than one answer. And this student get it correct. So I ask you to screenshot this. And then I will discuss this next time due to the time constraint. And also I need to move on to my medical appointment soon. So let's do a quick review of this question. Okay, this one I just highlight to here. More people will lead to more mass, leading to more downward force. So this part is missing. Okay, so take note of this. That's why the child get 1 mark deducted. And also this one is quite good answer. Okay, half mark deducted here because okay, this one is he did not answer this question. That's why he gets 0 mark. Will the volume of increase, decrease, or remain the same? Because he put no. Actually, it's decreased because air has mass. Get this part, it decreases as air occupies space. So when air removes, right, the bag displaces the air, so result in decrease in volume. Okay, air has volume because they ask you volume. Okay, even mass also. So you will suck out the air, you'll be lighter. You suck out the air, the volume of the bag will be lesser, so decrease in volume. So this candidate will go to check for the correction for this part. And also, what is evaporation? Evaporation is a change of state of matter from liquid to gas due to heat gained at any temperature. Well answered. Very good. Okay, this one, 0 mark because evaporation takes place at all temperature where liquid will gain heat and evaporate. Okay, don't use the same word in your answer. You must say change from liquid to gaseous state. Okay. Okay, this one over penalized. I think this one. I think this student should be given half mark because it says state 2 reason that help the hand to dry faster, right? So the hot air is present and also the high speed at which the hot air is given out because the wind velocity will increase the rate of evaporation. Okay, notice this child and also he mentioned the hand dryer produces heat and produces air at high speed. So half mark. So I think it's over penalized because if you check the model answer, the presence of heat and wind. So air is actually wind, right? Air at a high speed. So this part I find is over penalized. And the rest is okay. Increase the rate of evaporation of water because the student is not specific. So he lost 1 mark. This one he answered well. Wind helps in evaporation and added with hot air, the rate of evaporation would increase. Okay, spreading will increase the exposed surface area. So this is my review for this science prelim questions, and I hope that we can learn from one another because it's important that we do not make the same error in our examinations. So it's important that learning from mistake is crucial to avoid same error in PSLE. So I would like to send my greetings to every one of you. Stay safe, take care, God bless. Cheers.